Hello dear students, this is Mr. Sanjay Kumar. Chavra English Medium School once again welcomes you for learning 7th standard English subject. Dear students, today we are going to learn unit number 4. Poem number 1st. The poem name is Under the Greenwood Tree. Here, this is a very beautiful poem written by William Shakespeare. Dear students, let's first see the introduction. In introduction, we will try to understand, we will try to get the information about William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was born on 26 April 1564 and he was died on 23rd April 1616. William Shakespeare is regarded as the greatest writer in English language and literature. William Shakespeare is considered as the greatest dramatist of all the time in the world. He wrote comedies, tragedies and tragicomedies. He had also written historical plays. His plays are very popular and constantly studied and read in the world by the people. They have been read and performed so many times in the world. His poems and his plays show the love for nature and the rural life. The present poem Under the Greenwood Tree is the best example of it. Dear students, the present poem Under the Greenwood Tree by William Shakespeare is actually a song. It is actually a song, and this song is taken from William Shakespeare's famous play As You Like It. Here in this play As You Like It, there is a character. The name of the character is Lord Amins. This character, Lord Amins, is a loyal courtier in the court. Here in this play, Lord Amins sings this song in the forest of Arden. Dear students, here in this song, he presents the contrast between the city life and the life in the forest. Here, he also describes the beauty of the trees and asks the people to come and join him. Dear students, trees play important role in our life. They are very important as far as the living being is concerned. They are the best gift from nature to the whole world. Trees give us clean water to drink. They give us fresh air to breathe. They give us food to eat. And trees also provide us the shelter to protect from the sunlight and the rainfall. Dear students, trees absorb carbon dioxide and they provide us oxygen for our existence. The trees add beauty to the life in the environment, and they help to control the pollution in the environment. In the present poem, the poet describes the beauty of the forest. He talks about the happiness one gets from the nature while living in the nature. Now, dear students, let's read the whole poem, and after that we will try to understand it in detail. So let's begin it. Poem number 4.1, Under the Greenwood Tree. First stanza. Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me, and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather. Next stanza of the poem. Who doth ambition shun, and loves to live in the sun, seeking the food he eats, and pleased with what he gets. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather. By William Shakespeare. Now, dear students, let's try to understand the first stanza of the poem. Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me, and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall we see no enemy, but winter and rough weather. Here in this stanza, there are some new words. Let's try to understand their meaning. For example, to lie. It means to live or to stay. Next, unto. It means towards. Next, hither. It means here. So, dear students, in this stanza, the poet tells us that he is under the greenwood tree, and the poet at the same time invites the people who loves, who likes to live with him. He also invites the people to sing the beautiful song like the birds. Here, merry note. It means the beautiful melodious song. And the poet is asking us to join him. Here, the line, come hither, come hither, come hither. The words are repeated here. Here, hither means here. The poet is again and again telling us to join him under the greenwood tree. Because here the poet tells us that there is no enemy in the forest. There could be only the cold winter and rough weather. Dear students, we know that our life in the city is very busy. That's why the poet asks us to come in the company of nature. He tells that there is no enemy in the nature, in the forest. Life is free from the enemies in the forest. We have number of enemies in the city life. The city life is very busy. We don't have the time even to meet our friends, our relatives. We miss there the real joy which we get in the nature, in the company of the nature. In cities, we are very busy from morning to the evening. That's why the poet invites us and asks us to take out some time from such a busy daily life and spend some time under the greenwood tree. Here, the life is free from all the problems, tensions, difficulties, and enemies. There could be only the cold winter and rough weather in the form of heavy rainfall or the stormy wind or the high temperature. But we could bear that. That's why the poet asked us to come in the company of the nature and enjoy our life. Dear students, let's understand the next stanza of the poem. Who doth ambition shun and loves to lie in the sun. Here, I apostrophe the. It means in the. Seeking the food he eats and pleased with what he gets. Dear students, here there are some new words like doth. Doth means does. Ambition means desire. And shun means to avoid or to reject or to ignore. Here in this stanza, the poet tells us that there are certain conditions for the people who want to join him under the greenwood tree. He puts actually certain conditions for the people, those are invited here under the greenwood tree. The poet tells us that the people who doesn't like their ambitions in their life, we know that we have our ambitions, desires in our life to earn lot of money, to get power in the world, to earn name and fame in the world. But the poet is telling us that if you do not like such a powers, such a name and fame in the world, then you can come and join him under the greenwood tree. Here the poet wants to tell us that we should not run after our name and fame, power and wealth in the world. At the same time, the poet tells us that the people who eats whatever he gets and the people who feels very happy from whatever he gets, such a people can come and join him under the greenwood tree. Here also the poet wants to tell us that we should be satisfied and contented from what we get. Here the poet invites such people to live in the nature and gets the experience of the magic of the nature. He invites to come and relax from the busy life of the modern age. Here in this stanza, the lines from come hither to but winter and rough weather. The poet has repeated these 4 lines in the first stanza also and in the second stanza also. The poet has repeated these 4 lines to tell us the importance of living in the company of nature. Now dear students, let us find out the rhyming words used in this poem. First, tree, me, not throat, hither, weather, shun, sun. Dear students, now let us try to understand the figures of speech used by the poet in this poem. First, alliteration. It is a figure of speech in which the same consonant sounds are repeated. Here in these figures of speech, the same consonant sounds are repeated. For example, who loves to lie with me? Who loves to lie with me? Here in this line, the sound of the letter L is repeated for the poetic effect. That's why there is alliteration figure of speech. Second example, and loves to live in the sun. Here in this line also there is the repetition of the sound of the letter L. That's why in both the example there is the figure of speech, alliteration. The next figure of speech which is used by the poet here in this poem is repetition. It is a figure of speech in which a certain word or phrase is repeated for the poetic effect. Here, this is the figure of speech in which the particular word or the phrase is repeated in the line. For example, come hither, come hither, come hither. Here, in this line, the words come hither are repeated for the poetic effect. That's why there is the figure of speech repetition. Now dear students, at last let us try to understand the message of this poem. Here in this poem, the message conveyed is that if one wants to live a peaceful life without tensions, problems, difficulties and enemies, then he should or she should come and live in nature. The poet also tells us that if we will not desire for the wealth, power and name and fame, then there will be no tensions, there will be no problems in the life, or we will live our life very happily. We will have no real enemies. In this way, dear students, today we have completed learning the poem Under the Greenwood Tree. Thank you.